Hello and welcome to the We Are Birmingham podcast. I'm Chris Golding.
I'm Matthew Elliott.
Was that terrible? And as ever, we're joined by the vegan. Good evening, Dave. How are we doing?
Chris, you're right. How are you doing?
No, I'm not happy. Right, Dave in the chat. Yes, I know. We wait. Mike or Mick. Yes, I know people are waiting. Sorry for keeping you waiting. You'll be able to tell why shortly because no doubt my internet connection is going to fuck up. 900 megabits per second or whatever it is.
Internet connection.
And apparently it struggles to do this. Ridiculous. Shout out to Vodafone for the fucking round. Straight.
Aye. Send him to Cornella.
Fucking terrible. Look at that. I can see it myself.
This is absolutely dreadful. I couldn't hear a single word you were saying then.
So I think the message tonight is don't look at Chris, but listen to Chris, and it'll be all right. You'll be fine.
I can tell it's terrible. You know, I've tried restarting the router. I've tried doing everything that I can physically do.
We'll bring back the question section that we had last week, and if you've got any suggestions on how to fix Chris's broadband, we can address them instead.
We need Mark Watson.
Yeah, Watson.
Yeah, yes, guys. I know that I know you don't have to keep telling me. I know.
Choppy Chris, thank you, Dave. That'll be what we'll. Cool. And now Matthew's disappeared. This is.
Thanks everyone for listening,
What a start.
and until next week, keep on.
Right. Anyway, let's get through this as well as we can. How are you both? We know how you are, Chris.
I mean, we know how Chris is. I'm all right. I'm not bad. Yeah, I'm much the same as always, really. So, yeah, looking forward to trying to do this in a fairly swift and efficient manner, but that looks like it might not happen.
I don't know what to say. I'm genuinely it's completely thrown me. I know that we're trying to go here, but I know that it's terrible. I can see it myself. Dave, can we put the holding screen on for 2 minutes? I've got an idea.
We'll be back shortly, maybe.
Hello and welcome back to the We Are Birmingham podcast.
And it's live.
And I'm Chris Golding.
And I'm Matthew Elliott.
And as ever, we're joined by the vegan. Good evening, Dave. How are we doing?
We are good. How are you doing?
Well, so
Have you sorted it?
Vodafone broadband is still absolute shit. Luckily, when we moved, I had one. Probably shouldn't put that there.
That
I had
interferes.
we had a 4G router that we used temporarily. That was also getting the Wi-Fi here and outside and whatnot. So probably shouldn't move it around. But yeah, that's doing a much better job somehow than Vodafone's broadband that is fibre to the property.
We thought
I don't know.
We thought you'd just gone and turned everyone's internet off in Shropshire and come back quickly.
Yeah, it's lucky that that's there because I'd have been fucked without it. But yeah, shout out to Vodafone. We'll be sponsored by them soon, I'm sure, for saying how shit their service is. But yeah,
Also, shout out to everyone in the comments who gave you helpful advice and tips while you were away. Mostly, involving getting out and pushing, getting off.
Have you tried turning it back on and off and on again?
Yeah, turning you on and off again.
Try broadband instead of dial-up. Yes, yeah, great, thanks.
Well, you're back and you're working.
It didn't break. We've got it under control. We're back. We're in. Boys, how we doing?
I'm all right. Can't complain. Much the same as normal. So, I mean, I could complain, but I'm not going to. So, yeah.
You've done the complaining for this episode, Chris, so Matthew won't.
And just in case anyone didn't get it, Vodafone.
Aye. Send him to Cornella.
Yeah, that
have we got the
was-
soundboard in? Does that come through?
It has come through.
Into the stream as well.
No,
Probably just
no.
sat there in silence.
No, it hasn't. So you've missed that as well.
Okay, you can do that, Dave. Tell me when it's ready. So, how are we? Chewy, how's life? Normal? Everything good?
As normal, yeah. As I said, it's just the same as normal. So I'm doing all right. Just recently purchased tickets for the Swansea game, so looking forward to getting over in a few weeks' time. Actually, about a month's time. So yeah,
Did you not say that the sales had absolutely bolted by the before and after the game the other day as well?
Yes, yeah. So there's quite a few tickets before the Blackburn game. So I was checking it in after the Blackburn game. There was only I think Gilmerick Upper was left. So yeah, quick chat with my dad. Yep, let's do it. So yeah, but tickets, sorted flights, etc. So yeah, looking forward to getting over.
Is it working, Dave?
Just give us some soundboard, Chris.
Okay. Vodafone.
Yeah.
Aye. Send him to Cornella.
There we go. Right. How are you, Dave?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you know what I love? I love all of the preparation and everything that you put in, that we as a group put in, and then you sit down and it's like, no, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, can we start with your shelf? There's more on your shelf than last week.
Is there?
Yeah.
The left-hand side or your right shoulder.
Yeah. What's that?
That's a little photo of me and my family.
Hey.
That is some light bulbs. That is a bluey bubble maker.
Nice.
That is a We Are Birmingham pendant.
What can we?
Do you swap that with the opposition team when you play football
So
with them?
we did during the. I'll show you one of the ones that we got to return.
Hey.
Racing Club Lyle swapped it with us. Like the pronunciation there.
Did you see Man United stopped doing that as a cost-cutting measure? It was one of
And their fan
Radcliffe's-
team.
Yeah.
Their fan team started doing it.
They stopped handing over the pen before games as a cost cutting measure because that makes a massive difference when you've got people like Casemiro on 300 grand a week. But do your cost cutting in the right places, lads.
We look forward to another shelf update next week, Chris.
I'll put something else on there. I'll put something else on
your
there.
house.
I've got some Lego cars as well. Right.
All right.
Let's get into it. Blackburn, absolute limbs. I mean, it was incredible support. 7,000 that travelled north, and I'll tell you what, they were rewarded, weren't they? That was some finish to the game.
Were
Like,
you there?
sadly not. No, too much to do in the house. So actually, we've moved house
He was
recently. I
installing
don't know
his
if
internet over the weekend.
I've-
Going to be ripping it out this weekend.
Oh, yeah, we were getting a hamster on the wheel. No. So, yeah, I did mention that we've moved house recently. So, yeah, too much to do on the house, so I couldn't make it, sadly. Frustrating because I really wanted to go, and it's one of those sacrifices in life, and I think I've missed one of the best away games or best finishes to an away game in
I was
recent
going to
times.
say, in terms of a spectacle of football, it was really. I was very frustrated and uptight for the majority of that game until we equalised, and even then I was still getting a bit aggy.
Up
Well,
there
it was-
with your favourite away games. Then you're thinking back to other away games.
Me,
It's my
Yeah, all
most
both you,
favourite.
both
It's
you.
my most favourite away game this season.
that you. It's your favourite away game you've never been to. So Chris Davis, it was another one that Chris Davis said he'll never forget, which was the Barnsley game. He said something very similar about sort of similar games in the way that they turned around, came very behind.
I didn't feel like we were
scrapped
going to
beforehand.
get anything from that game at all. I mean, I thought if we got out of like a 0-0 before they scored, probably would have been relatively happy. Second half they scored, I just thought this is just half and puff, and recycling possession. I mean, we weren't even that good at just sort of trying to pass the ball around. I thought we were disjointed in some respects, and it was just the lack of invention and creativity. I think you mentioned during our chat it was quite similar to some games last season.
Yeah,
I don't
so-
think Blackburn played like super defensively, but
You see,
because they were causing us problems when they went forward, even when they went.
But it was the way that they were set up, though. So they were set up very much to just keep it solid and hit us on the counter. They weren't trying to. They moved the ball around at the back and then they pinged it forward, and that was about the extent of their possession.
I mean,
Football.
to be fair, we did that a fair bit as well, and we also started doing that against Ipswich. But
I've got there's some stat. So for me, I would have, and I did say in the chat, it reminded me very much of games last season where teams sat there, didn't want to come at us, but then they'd hit us on the counter. That for me was how that game felt, and we struggled with that last season. We struggled with it this season. Stansfield said in the post-match interviews, he said teams are going to do that. They're going to look at ways that they can stop you. I think had we gone in front, they'd have had to have looked at things and changed it, but they didn't. They took the lead, somewhat against the run of play. I would have said it. I mean, it was.
Well, they came out second half. They looked far more up for it. I thought it at the start of the second half, and obviously it was
in general in the game.
Quite poor defending, wasn't it, for their goal? We didn't really clear it properly. Kyogo
Back in the mix,
put the ball back into danger. Sometimes you just want someone to just fucking belt it out, don't you? But again, yeah, quite frustrating.
Do you want a few stats that so I took a few stats from the game.
Then. Come with some stats, and then we'll come to a few live comments that have come in.
Blues' XG, so expected goals, 2.05, scored 2, so that was very accurate.
Well, you'll always get one high one for the penalty, won't you? You get a high amount for that. So
Blackburn XG 0.36. Blackburn made under 300 passes. Blues made 428 passes. Now this is where it gets interesting. So that amount of passes, they made under 69% accuracy. We were nearly 85% accurate. So your first comment was a little bit sort of against that, I would have said.
I mean that's still lower. That's still lower than the majority of last season, isn't it? But
yeah, in a higher level though, I think that they'd be quite happy with nearly 85%. The main thing that sort of stood out was that a lack of shots, and so lack of chances really. And that
final third, I thought we were dreadful. Yeah,
but again, that to me was a throwback to last season where it was a team that are quite happy to sit back, try and defend it. We've got to try and break them down. Struggled to do it.
I think some of the issue on Saturday was Stansfield and Kyogo together. I think maybe having another, not so necessarily like a 10 or a centre midfielder in there just to try and open things up a little bit might have been better. Like for the majority of that game, I don't know what you guys think, but there were some parts in that game I thought Kyogo had been substituted off and we brought someone else on, because I haven't looked at the stats. We should probably have done that, but be interested to see how many touches of the ball he actually had, because I didn't even notice him making runs, and normally that's the sort of thing that I'd pick up on. They seemed to just really stifle him, didn't they?
That for me probably went in hand with us not being able to move the ball forward into their half and create those opportunities. If you've got the ball in and around their final third, that's where you're going to see him making those runs. So, but I mean, you said at halftime, like I'd get him off and put Tommy Doyle on for him.
Yeah.
Now, ultimately, that was a move that came later, and probably because of conceding that goal, you then can't go, right, we're going to take him off. Someone who's...
Yeah.
And I mean, at one point...
I would have brought... Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, at one point, the squad that we had on there, it was one centre-half that were on the pitch. Right towards
the end of the game, before we'd scored the second. I mean, there was quite a few disappointing...
It was the equaliser, wasn't it? Because as soon as he gave the penalty...
Did he bring Cashin on after we scored the penalty?
Because he was ready as it was awarded. He was like, right, warm up.
There was just a load of substitutes, so I was just like, so what formation are we playing? It was just like, I couldn't really work it out. But you know what? He gambled. So fair play to Chris Davis for gambling and doing that to get something from the game.
Do you want to see some of the comments we've had through on Blackburn?
On the game? Go on the game.
Yeah. Let me bring some of these on. So I think you guys can see that, can't you? Very similar to many games last season. It's worrying, if I'm honest. Another one, Blackburn harassed and unbalanced us. You could see how much it rattled the players. Reminded a bit of Charlton away last season.
Agree with that, David. Yeah.
Let's have a look. Another one. In my opinion, some players look tired.
Which is mad, being this early on in the season. But
Samuel, etc., maybe should have been on been a game for Doyle. If Kyogo doesn't get service, he's pretty ineffective.
Yeah, true.
Just said.
Aside Samuel, I said at halftime I would have taken him off for Laird, and we thought Laird was coming on for him at halftime, but it turned out that Cochrane was injured, so Laird was coming on, but he was coming on for Cochrane instead, because I thought, that's it, Dave. Spot on. I mean, I said, I think I tweeted after the game, win late, win ugly, win any way you can.
For those that aren't watching and are just listening, the comment says from Dave, we found a way to win, and that's the sign of a good team.
Yeah.
And absolutely.
Sorry, I should have thought about that. Dave, you need to read. Dave, you read these out. You're in control.
We've had quite a few on this. Let's just bring this one up as well for marking. Very true, but in a better league now. Can't deny that we didn't look dangerous last season.
We did, but then we struggled as well, and it
was hit and miss, wasn't it? It kind of did. Eventually, we wore teams down, which Chris Davis talks about all the time. Is just like if you wear them out and tied, you can force them into mistakes like giving away penalties or manufactured dives, as Keith Hackett may have called it this week. But probably should talk about that. So they made the substitution, brought Laird on for Cochrane, which was a forced change due to an injury, but actually. Obviously, he was probably our most dangerous player for them from the moment he came on that left-hand side. I thought he was really, really good. Pushed them back a little bit. Obviously, won the penalty. I love Ethan Laird. I think I said that hundreds of times.
Yeah. Well, that was another one that you said about at half-time on for Samuel, but then he came on for Cochrane because of the injury, obviously.
Because of the injury. But
I
Okay,
think
what about,
just
what about this one quickly?
hang on, but just while we're on that, before we do, so I think that that change for Samuel. So if Laird had come on for Samuel, he would have been just as effective because that's the type of player that he is. I still think that he would have offered something into the game. I mean, having
Yeah, it's a little a minor frustration with Osai Samuels for someone that used to be a winger. Sometimes it doesn't take his man on enough or drive himself forward enough. Maybe that'll come with time once he's settled into the system. But
fitness maybe as well.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
potentially, but I mean, he should be relatively fit to be. I mean, he was look at the Ipswich game. He was bombing up and down, but he wasn't really taking players on. But very,
true.
very early into his time at Blue. So, Dave, you had another comment, did you?
Yeah, another one. Chris, again, Doyle has to start. I don't care who has to sit out, but there's no way he should be on the bench. And that kind of ties in then with Chris W saying has to be Paperweight a drop for Doyle, then so be it. What do we think about that? I mean,
you see, I don't disagree with that. I think you play the best player that you play the best player, the best team that you can, the best squad that you can. But it's I don't know where he fits into that. Do you I personally would probably have him in that 10 and have all three of them in midfield, and then it's one of
100% is what I would do. I would
Stansfield Kyogo.
One of Stansfield or Kyogo, and at the moment, based on the fact that Stansfield's one of them was apparently scored a couple of goals. I'd look to have 3 goals. Did you score 3 goals?
2
goals.
2.
Whatever happened to that? Who scored against Sheffield United? Kyogo scored first.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Has he scored in every game? 3 and 3. It is 3 and 3, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, he scored 2 league goals. Won the cup. How do we not know this? This is embarrassing. But I mean, the movement from Kyogo, I think, would lend itself pretty well to the through balls and the creativity that Doyle would have in that 10. But based on current form, you'd probably have Stansfield. It was Stansfield scored the deflected strike, didn't he? At a very late into the game against Sheffield United.
That was it.
So yeah,
now we've always had it going on. I've just had too much going on.
I've always got
maybe
too much going
maybe
on.
one more quickly here then, just looking at the overall squad's performance.
Again, that's Gary that stands by me. Good evening, guys.
Speaking of fitness, can we applaud the fitness of the players to break in the 98th minute with the pace and numbers that we did? I mean, that break was incredible. Wasn't
it? That was a point that we're definitely having to bring up.
Yeah. So
Amari Gray. Everyone.
Actually, the ball that he received, before then.
I think it was Williamson, wasn't it, that played the ball across the field, but then you had Laird with the break, obviously was taken down. I think Osai Samuel cleared it, and then Laird broke out with it. He was taken down. Williamson played the crossfield ball to Murray Gray. But so see the pace and the power that we broke at against them, that would never have happened last season. That goal would not have happened last season at all. We would not. I don't think we'd ever have seen anything like that. The closest you probably get to is that Cambridge goal, where we sort of played our way quite intricately out of it. Where I think Doyle was involved.
That knocked it to Gray.
Oh, was it Iwata? Was it?
Yeah.
I just saw a ponytail and thought it was Williamson. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, was it? I thought it was Williamson. Fair enough. But yeah, absolutely fantastic run by Gray.
We know our stuff, we do.
And the ball, I just remember seeing a ponytail or something. It's just like I just out of shot. I just assumed
but you forget that Iwata's got his hair tied back now, hasn't he?
Yeah, true. Sorry, my cat's trying to join.
Has he got an opinion on it as well?
It'll be shit.
I genuinely, I thought Damari Gray sort of 10 minutes, 15 minutes before that, I thought that he was absolutely done. Like he was run. And then he's broke with it. And I'm like, right, play it. I thought he'd had a bit too long on it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as his man gets to him, it's almost like the sprint button in FIFA, and he's just got this extra burst of pace to beat him. He puts across a lovely ball. Fair play to Dykes, because Dykes gets a lot of hate. And to be fair, I give him stick from time to time. Not his biggest fan, but to to get the slightest of touches on that and to stretch and
It's one hell of a
get in.
stretch on it there, just to sort of
Yeah.
divert it into net. It was a really good finish, to be fair to him. And obviously the scenes at the end there, the 7,000 fans that had made the journey
Well, I
and
saw the
stood through that.
Blue Machine podcast called it the Lyndon Dykes Appreciation Society. I think fair play to them for that.
Very good, very good. But yeah, I mean, again, it's another one of those where it looks like I think Damara Gray had already almost started celebrating before Dykes had put it in again.
I tell you what, as well, considering at the start of the season when he was joining, like, oh, you know, is he got the fire anymore? Has he got the desire for it? And this, that, the other, is he still got it?
I mean, I'll hold my hands up. I was skeptical. I was definitely skeptical.
That wasn't aimed at you. That was in general.
I'm sure it wasn't. There was a lot of people saying it. There was people in the media saying it. There was Blues fans saying it. I mean, we'll see how the season goes, but certainly the way he started, he looks like proper keyed in. So I mean, again, he was in and out of the game, but one of the most important things to do, and he delivered. Was there anything else in that game that?
Well, one more quick thing. Again, quick comment for you. Maybe Chris, you can read this one out. I haven't seen the footage. I don't know if you have, Matthew.
Have you seen the video of the Blackburn fan and his complete head loss over Blues goals? Brilliant. His channel is in Blackburn Rover Seas. I think this is the bald guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Who is he going on calling Stansfield Pinhead or something?
Something along those lines. So I'd seen a bit he said about Stansfield, and then he does like those watch alongs like Brummy Joe does, and Raj, listener of the podcast, sent me it's basically his 2.5 hour watch along of the game. I don't understand how people sit through and watch that, because he doesn't really commentate. He just
watches it.
He's just sitting there, and he'll read out the scores every now and then from other games, and he'll mention the odd thing, but not really anything to do with the game. And then he'll say, "Oh, we could be in trouble here." And it's like, "Oh my god, they've scored!" It's Lyndon Dykes. I hate that guy as well. I can't stand him. Just like, what? I mean, how do people sit and watch this?
That's what all the content creators do nowadays, though. There's a whole market of people doing that.
I mean, granted, at this moment in time, his football knowledge is probably a lot better than ours. His Blues knowledge is probably a lot better than
There was one more thing that I wanted to mention. I can see some comments about the Blackburn fan going onto the pitch. I've seen a bit about that, but I haven't got a comment about it. But it does need investigating, because if it's going to happen, if it's going to be investigated when Blues do it, it should be investigated when others do.
I mean, Stansfield got hit by a bottle, didn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I didn't really see any of that. I saw this sort of pick things up this week where I saw people talking about it.
But so the one other point that I did want to talk about was the Pep moment. I don't know if you saw it, where he flicked the ball back.
The chip, yeah. That was very FIFA-esque, wasn't it, as well?
He's just like, what has he just done?
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what he'd done, because it was hard to tell whether he did actually mean it or not. But it looked very, very good, didn't it, as well?
It paid off.
I want to, obviously, very happy with the win, and my prediction was 2-1, so that's always good. So I've got both the score predictions correct, if not the goal scorers for the first two games. So I hope you're putting that down on your stat sheet for us.
No, we'll come to that later.
One of my problems, one of my issues, and this is something I came up with last season, I mentioned a few times last season as well. Ryan Alsop's command of the area drives me nuts sometimes. There were 2 or 3 occasions, it might have been more than that, on Saturday again, where he should have been coming out to claim the ball or at least punch the ball or something, and he's just rooted to his line. Now, I've heard pundits say that goalkeepers are told to sort of stay where they are now and let your defenders deal with it. But if your defenders aren't going to deal with it, and the ball's going to bounce in the 6-8 yard box, why isn't your goalkeeper coming out to get it? It's a real weakness for me, I think that's a weakness, and I think we'll get stung by that this season against better quality opposition.
I don't disagree, but
I just find it just annoys me. But he did make an amazing save as well. Let's not take. I'm not taking away from that because it was an incredible save.
Exactly that. And do you know what? Because I know that is mentioned in these, Dave, should we have some 15-second opinions that people have sent in? I hope it's mentioned in there now.
Well, we can bring in the 15-second opinions if you'd like.
Let's go.
First of the season. Okay. So bring those in now.
15-second opinion.
Hi lads, the sign of a good team is winning when not at your best, and that was Blues at Blackburn. We have absolutely nothing to fear in this league. This is a different Birmingham City to the one in the Championship 2 years ago. So let's keep right on and keep going.
Hi lads, what I've seen, once Kyogo finds his scoring boots, we're going to piss this league. Playoffs is the absolute minimum. And Big Duck will come on after 80 minutes, score a hat-trick every game. This is going to be dead easy. Keep right on, up the Blues.
We're only 3 games in, but I'm starting to feel like we can do something special this season. Didn't believe it before, despite all the hype. But I think we're going to go all the way. Up the Blues.
Hi, it's Vino. Brilliant result, average performance. All stops late save as good as a goal. Laird was brilliant, but without Stano's increasing tempo, I don't think Laird has the impact he does in the last 20. Stano set the tone and delivered. Up the fucking Blues.
Hi, lads. Really exciting start to the season. Think it's going to be a really positive and promising one for us. I think in the next couple of weeks, for it to be potentially special, we need a couple of wingers in, a bit more depth across the squad in maybe left back, centre mid, and an extra striker would be perfect. But really excited for the rest of the season.
Hi, Chris, Matt and Dave. Will Heatley here, offering my 2 cents from the Blackburn results. Good teams find ways to win, and it's clear that our fitness under CD is far exceeding everybody that we've sort of played against up to this point. So, that bodes well.
All right, lads, Chris O'Brien here from sunny Turkey. What limbs we had at Blackburn, absolutely amazing. What I'm going to say is, Saturday, we're going to smash Gay Rowett's team. 4-0. Can't wait. Up the Blues, keep right on.
So, Cobb's gone over to top up his tan in Turkey. Work our way back.
Does it need topping up?
Probably not. It's more holidays than Judith Charno's.
Can we just point out for anyone that may not be aware that buzzer comes in, Chris? 15 seconds.
Yes. If you send a 15-second opinion in, you get your 15 seconds and a small grace period, and then gone. So that's what the buzzer's for. Work our way back. Find ways to win. Good teams find ways to win. Totally agree.
100%. Like I said, win late, win ugly, win any way you can. Sign of champions. I think I tweeted on Saturday.
And do you know what the difference? I think this was mentioned in there as well, that it being a different Blues. To be behind first and to show that character to come back. And I mean, it was late. Definitely late. And I think it was mentioned in there as well, Stansfield's fire, when he got that fire in his belly, and it sort of drove everyone else on. So I messaged you guys and I was like, I think it was about an hour mark, and I was like, this reminds me a bit of the Peterborough game where we just didn't offer anything. It just didn't look like we had anything in us. And then Stano had a little tussle with someone, and it just really got him going, and he was firing the fans up, firing the players up. And then it was like, oh, we might get something out of this. But to have that bit of fire and that bit of desire about us, and it did sort of just kickstart the game for us, the performance for us to just finish it off. And once we were going, I wasn't massively. I thought that it might have been there for Blues rather than Blackburn after the goal. I think we looked like we had that momentum with us, and I know it could have gone either way. They still had.
Yeah, I mean they were putting a bit of pressure on, weren't they, after we scored as well, but obviously the breakaway. One comment on that breakaway as well, by the way. I don't think it's really been mentioned explicitly by very many people at all.
Is it Willem Williamson's pass to?
No, the ghost pass. It just didn't actually exist. I've been thinking all week that was Willem Williamson, but no, it wasn't. It was just before that. it was the foul on Laird and the fact that the referee let it go in the final minutes and play wanted us to play on. Away from that could quite easily have been brought back, and he could have just let us like try and slow the game down or whatever. And then fair play to him for allowing us to play on and obviously go and score there,
letting it develop.
Because he did, like, he tried to do that throughout the game. Actually, I thought he was actually, apart from the booking early on of Asai Samuel for that for the daft like throwing the ball away, which wasn't even throwing it away. I thought actually reffed the game really, really well, and that sort of typified it for me when he allowed that to us to play on there and obviously go on and score, because obviously it's our benefit. And a few referees might not have given Laird the penalty either. So yeah, shout out to, I don't often give credit to referees, but I thought he was quite good on Saturday.
Let's have a little. Was it a pen?
I think it was a penalty. Yeah, the way Laird sometimes throws himself down, he does look like he tries to buy free kicks and penalties quite frequently. We've seen him do it before and not win it, and then we've seen him do it before and win it. He is a little bit theatrical in the way he goes down, but it was a penalty. It was for me, it was a definite penalty. And you know what I'm like, I'm normally quite neutral on that sort of thing, but for me, it was a definite penalty.
Do you know what? For me, so I don't like players playing for contact, trailing their leg, which I think he did. Equally, they had Todd Cantwell playing for them, who's a fucking Poundland Grealish, and he plays for absolutely everything, throwing himself on the floor. So fuck them. If they didn't think it was a pen, he played for the contact. He won a penalty. You know what? It happens now. So
did you see
we
that
might as well play for it?
Stupid little dance that Todd Cantwell was doing? Not directly after he scored, but before we kicked off, after they scored, he was doing this little dance on the halfway line. But you've already done your celebrating, and he was doing that as we were about to kick off. It really got to me.
And a few minutes before, I think it was a few minutes before we equalised, they had the ball in the corner and they were showboating. Cantwell and someone else, I can't remember who it was, but they were showboating in the corner, and it was just like a bit early for that, lads. I hope that comes back to bite you on the arse.
It often does when people are doing it that early, doesn't it? It's always the way.
Yeah.
So there's a few other comments. Obviously, the comment about Kyogo, and when he does sort of find his shooting boots, then yeah, absolutely, we should.
Hat-trick every week.
I mean, he could have had a hat trick in the first two games, really. What else was on there? So it's fairly positive from everybody, wasn't it?
Something special was the key thing that I wrote down. There's something special happening.
I think that's been happening since last summer, but yeah, it definitely feels like something different and something special could happen.
Something's brewing.
In terms of transfers, then, because obviously we had a comment on transfers. Should we just move into that quickly and before we do? Go on.
Before we do. So a few weeks ago, are you ready, Dave? A few weeks ago, we brought back the music. So local bands supporting bands from in and around Birmingham and the Midlands gives us a little break while we were on air as well. We'll put the music on. So this week we've got the Claws.
To be fair, we had a break at the very start, Chris.
We did. Shut up, dickhead. This week, carry on. So lads from the Claws have sent us their new tune called Alicia. It's an absolute, well, do you know what? Haven't listened to it because I wanted to listen to it the first time here.
You're just about to lie and tell us it's all an absolute banger. You hadn't listened to it.
They make absolute bangers. I was going to say they're a good group of lads, and they've been on before. They've sent us stuff, and they're doing absolute massive stuff at the moment. I hope that they make it really big. But yeah, this is Alicia by the Claws.
biography is full of false starts. Yeah, I've dipped my toe, but I ain't got past. Moonlit chats in the back of the car. Cause I'm clinging on a memory, sweet 16 when you kiss me round the back of the Weatherspoons in Leeds, and I can't get clear. Baby, did you ever call this love? Tell me, will I ever be the one? Alicia. So I fill my head with JVCs and try to chase it from my dreams. But it's hard to feign your make-believe. You're under me no matter where I sleep, if you know what I mean. Cause I'm clinging on a memory, sweet 16 when you kiss me round the back of the Weatherspoons in Leeds. And I tell my friends, I swear I'm clean, but if you wanna take a walk down memory lane, you know I'm free. Baby, did you ever call this love? Tell me, will I ever be the one? Oh, I need ya. I need ya. I need ya.
Okay, that was the clause.
Couple of comments, was there?
Well, from me and Matthew, been listening
No?
to Feeder records, haven't they?
That definitely sounds like just a bit like Just a Day by Feeder, or
Anyway,
the guitar riff, doesn't it?
It's good. It's all right. Anyway,
And,
thank you.
Dave in the chat as well said, "Love the clause. Support them supporting the DMAs 18 months ago."
Yeah, DMA's right.
I really like the clause. I think they do some good stuff. Keep it up, lads, and thank you for sending that in.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a couple of comments come in during that, so let's just bring some of these on. Give me 2 seconds. First one, Leonard. What do we think?
Well, we were
Let's
going to talk about.
Let's just read it out first. I don't want Leonard going anywhere.
I'm just going to say we were going to talk about transfers anyway. So go on, read. Let's read it.
Yeah.
From Dave YT83.
Just Dave.
5. Yeah.
From Dave YT.
Are there really 8,000?
Davey T.
Right.
83325.
I don't want Leonard going anywhere else and being really good. That would be a gut punch. I mean, and then another one, Mark King. Leonard class. What do we think on that? Do we think we're still going to see him?
We both, I think, really like Leonard. I think that he could be an important member of the squad. I personally think. I think, especially when you need the squad depth.
Yeah, and he's
I
a
wouldn't
bit younger
want...
than the other two centre midfielders that we've got on permanently on the books at the moment as well, which I think is important to remember. But it looked very much like he could well be out the door earlier on in the summer. I think
it worked
that I think that potentially may have changed. He'll obviously get game time as maybe against like Port Vale or whatever in the coming weeks. And there'll be games throughout the season where he'll probably feature as well. He's only going to go if we bring someone else in. We're not going to get rid of him and not replace him. So,
or if he really wants to leave to get guaranteed football, and that might be in the form of a loan for a season, because it might be that
we'll have to go out and
see the future,
bring a replacement in. So,
on the subject of transfers, then, if you guys are going to come on to that, we've got one which kind of talks about people that we may see leave. Again, from Dave YT. If we discuss transfers, any hopes that a few of the ones we expected to leave will leave? Hall, Chang, Roberts, Stamford. What do you think?
I think we need to.
Yeah, I actually have to, don't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think these all seem like the ones that are nailed on to leave. The problem is, as time goes on, clubs, I've said this before, other clubs know that we need to move these on. So they're not going to be giving us what we would class as probably acceptable or good offers at this point in time. So there's probably a good chance that a lot of these players have had some form of offers coming in for them, and we've been turning them down at this point. As time goes on, and gets closer to
Dykes, we think there was someone in for Dykes.
Yeah, again, and he's another one that I think potentially could go, but again, that would have to be to probably bring a replacement in. Now, as it gets closer to the end of the window, my general feel is this will just be last minute loans. I think Chang might get a permanent move potentially, but I think everyone else you're probably looking at loan. I think in an ideal world, the club would like to move these on, get their wages off, get a little bit of money in. Potentially the same with Dykes. Dykes, I believe, is on quite a high wage. He was on quite a high wage in League One. He probably went up on promotion. Now, the word coming from the whispers we heard from different people surrounding the club is actually there's maybe not as much money to be splashing around on signings at the moment as a lot of people think there is, and also in terms of our wage bill, we've probably maybe spunked a little bit too much on some players. So the more recent signings potentially have come in on a lot more than maybe we budgeted for. So the important thing for the club is probably get the wage bill down significantly before we start bringing in players. So
yeah, we're probably not far from that limit that we need to
outside of those four, we're probably going to have to move some others on. I think that's why Bielik went for not what you wouldn't class the sort of 1.5 million as that much. If it's like 2 million on promotion or whatever, or 2 million with add-ons. They got all his wages off the books, which was maybe like 20 grand a week or whatever. So that's a big deal, but they need to get more off. They need more players in. We've seen clearly we need a left back. There was a lot of talk last week about a left back. That looked like it may have been a false flag in the end, or if there was something in the pipeline, it died. And then I think someone, one of the other listeners who sent their 15-second opinion and mentioned 2 wingers, a centre midfielder, a centre back, a left back, another striker. I wouldn't. Yeah, I think that's a bit optimistic. I think for me, they'll definitely bring in at least one winger. They have to. We can get on to who we've been linked with shortly. I don't think they'll bring in another centre midfielder unless Leonard goes or maybe Gardner-Hickman goes. Left back, definitely. Centre back, definitely. They might even look to pair those up together and go for a left back, centre back hybrid. Someone like Callum Doyle would have been good.
Well, that was out yesterday, wasn't it? I think.
But I don't think we would have paid 8 million for him anyway. To be honest, I think if we tried to go for him, we probably would have tried to go for a loan. I'm not convinced we're going to be throwing as much money around as people think, unless there's some significant movement out. And I mean significant, not the players that have clearly been ostracised from the rest of the squad.
Yeah, I think you're right on what you're saying about the players that are unwanted. Essentially, a lot of teams will have the bulk of their squad now prepared for the season, and it will just be your last final additions. The same situation that we're in, we're pretty set, but we need a couple of additions. Now, who's going to take on Tyler Roberts? who's going to take
He's not
on?
even fit, is he?
No. But he's sitting there taking that wage, which at times we saw moments where it was like, there could be something there. It's just worked
last
out as
pre-season, he
mostly-
looked really good last pre-season. Then he was loaned out, and it's just like fair enough. But
and then injured.
yeah, then
and
got
then
injured. Yeah.
start season, and it's just that, like, frustrating. But who's going to take players like that? Who are going to? So those players that are in that bomb squad, if you like, someone's got to take them, and until they do, those wages are sat there, even though they're not active players. Essentially, their wages are sat there, and you can't spend them on someone else because then you hit that. There's like the Mitrovic thing. I've just seen that it's been mentioned in the chat. I don't think. Yeah, nothing in it. It's
even
like,
talks.
Even so,
Go on.
if £100,000 a week, right? I saw someone say on Twitter. I think it was Paul Delves. If he's on a free, 100 grand a week makes sense because
No,
this,
it
that, the other.
doesn't.
And it doesn't, because that transfer fee that you can spread across the length of a contract.
Years of a contract, yeah.
You can't just go, okay, we'll give you that in form of wages, because those wages then take up your profit and sustainability.
Wages
and
are the
else.
killer in PSR. I mean, Daniel Ivory wrote numerous articles where he sort of mentioned it. It's always the wages that are the biggest killer, because you can finagle a transfer fee around a contract and different clauses and things like that. You can get around things like that. That's why we put Stansfield on like a 7-year or 8-year contract or whatever it was. You can get around these things by amortizing the fee.
Yep.
You can't do that with huge wages, and they've already overspent on wages. So there was no chance of Mitrovic doing that 100 grand a week or whatever, and then you'd be on your arse with PSR. Like, you'd be in so much trouble. It's just impossible. And TalkSport saying we've made inquiries. I don't know if they're doing it for clicks or if we have put some out there for clicks, but it's absolute nonsense. Like, there's just no interest in him.
And you know what? If we've done it for clicks, fair fox to us, because that's genius.
Yeah, I mean, it's got people talking, hasn't it? And got people talking. And TalkSport know that our fans are super thirsty with stuff like that as well, and they will react to everything. So it's probably engagement bait on their part.
And you know what? It might not even be a lie, because all you have to do is reach out to the agent and go, so how much would he be wanting to come to Birmingham or to come to England? Oh, he wants 150 grand a week. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you've inquired.
Yeah. It's wild how much this is carried on from your original comment like a couple of months ago, Chris. Then it was picked up in Portugal and just seemed to spread like wildfire, and you made it onto TalkSport indirectly. But hey,
right, I know that we've got more to do about transfers, but I was going to set up a feature for tonight, and I'm going to come on to it now. We haven't had a chance to link this to the screen or anything, but I've got 3 wheels set up, and so no one can see them. Only I can see them. But I've got 3 wheel of names. One of them with a list of players.
Is this transfer related?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Mitrovic thing related. So we just had a comment come in saying apparently Mitrovic has been seen at Pesto in Whittle tonight. Okay.
Of course he has, yeah.
Right, he might have been. I'll get on Twitter after. But it ties in perfectly to this. So I'm going to make up a transfer rumour, and we're going to, like, everyone who listens has to try and spread it on socials.
For God's sake.
Right. So I've got 3 wheels, and the 3 wheels have got one's got players' names on, one's got the detail, and one's got the rumour. Okay.
You sure your broadband can cope with this?
I'm not on it, am I?
All right, come on then.
Right. So I'm going to spin the first wheel, and I'm going to get a player name. This would be great if people could see the wheel.
Can we have this as but next time we do this, can you have this as like visible for people?
Yes. Right. The name is Vandenberg at Liverpool might not be a Liverpool
He's centre back,
anymore.
isn't he? Yeah, he's
Right, left-footed centre back, because I searched for formations that we have, players positions that we needed. Right, the detail. So it's Sepp Vandenberg. Okay, in a player plus cash deal involving a youth player. Don't know who. Okay, and the rumor. Spin this wheel as well. This might be really random. Oh, I can't see this.
He's at Brentford, by the way.
Is he at Brentford? Has he just joined?
So is he?
I chat GPT'd a load of the names.
That's incredible. So he was at. Yeah, he joined. Looks like last season. He joined them last season.
Has he been playing? I'm going to refresh the wheel. We're still going to stick with a player plus cash deal involving a youth player.
This is a sort of feature that's going to win podcast awards.
Yes, awards. Right, Daniel Podence at Al Shabab.
Okay, we did have interest in him at one point, didn't we? Actually, as well.
There you go. And he is at Al Shabab, right? Don't know when he went there, but
this is great content, Chris.
It is great content, right? Daniel Podence from Al Shabab in a player plus cash deal involving a youth player, and a transfer request has been handed in. So there you go. Can we make it stick? Probably not, right?
I'm gonna say no. So obviously, it's a slight segue.
Just because of the Mitrovic thing, I thought we'd see how easy it would be. So if anyone fancies putting it out there, it probably won't take off, but try it.
So what are we thinking then? Left back, centre back, winger, or left back, centre back, hybrid winger, and then one other potentially. Seems to be a lot of talk about two wingers, a centre back and a left back. I'm not convinced we will do that many. I guess it depends on if we get any players out we're not expecting, or I don't know.
I really think it's slowed down so much because, and I think we're aware of needing to offload. That's where I think that the hesitancy's come. We've started to see players leave. So Bielik has gone for, like you said, a lower fee than we thought he would. I think that there's the awareness that we have to play by the rules essentially, and that's what's going to hold us back now. So it might be that we don't see an awful lot of movement, maybe one or two players, and really try and balance it. Another loan.
So there seems to be a few comments about some noise around going for younger, more developmental type players, which doesn't fit the MO of this transfer window so far. But I think what probably has been realised is that those more established players that are instant difference makers cost a lot of money, whether that's wages or whether it's a transfer fee, etc. So they're probably looking for something that's a little bit more palatable financially for them. So,
and as we mentioned, the players that we've got on the books, that we're essentially paying more and more and more and more players.
Yeah. So, I mean,
some of the names. I mean, Luis Kumas today.
He came out today. I'm always really skeptical of
Birmingham
articles, that release stories of transfer rumors at us and Wrexham. I always feel a bit like, have we just been thrown in there? I mean, I don't know an awful lot about him. I read a few bits from Stoke fans. I think I watched a couple of bits of him play, but he's right-footed. Predominantly a right-footed left winger. I know he can play both sides. I think he's played up front and as a 10. So the versatility would probably be of interest to us. And I know he's quite quick, which, based on the way we broke away on Saturday, you probably want some more pace added in the team. But I'm not sure I buy this rumor. I haven't checked, and I don't think you've checked with anyone, have you, about it? But I feel it smells a bit agency to me. And also, Liverpool are talking like they want 10 million for him, and I just don't feel we're going to be spending 10 million on someone that we're going to have to. I don't know. Thoughts?
So as soon as that, I'm like you. As soon as I see Birmingham and Wrexham mentioned, it's just like, I mean, it's lazy. I just get that feeling all the time. There was the, I mean, it wasn't Blues that were mentioned, but Wrexham obviously signing Doyle for 8 million, and it was like that was something that I would have liked us to have gone in for. Like you said, doesn't really fit what we're doing at the moment. It's not. I mean, he's had a few loan seasons, hasn't he? But
I think the thing with Callum Doyle is, just to go on a slight tangent, is like he goes to Wrexham, he gets straight in that team, whether it's probably left back or he's probably left-sided centre back where he goes out, which is, I think, a perfect position for him. I think he would have fitted in really well into ours. But he comes to Blues, like he's comfortable at left back, but he's not an out and out natural left back. So he's going to automatically be behind Cochrane. And then you've got Newman and Clara. And Clara's been playing on the left. Now, they're only an injury away from playing 20 games or whatever. But I just think his route to... It feels crazy saying this about Callum Doyle, but his route to playing would have been far more difficult here than it would be with Wrexham. So even if we were in for him, I could probably understand why he has gone there. But at the same time, I can't see us spending £8 million on him. But that's just my general feeling. So we've done Kumas. Then the other one, obviously, that seems to be doing the rounds at the moment is Oxlade-Chamberlain. Again, feels very agency to me. Sounds like he's been offered to us, but we have no interest.
So I looked at the amount of games that he's played the last couple of years. Now, he's had a career that's been stop-start with injuries anyway. But the last few years, I looked at the number of games. And my first comment was, if we're going for someone like that, I think I'd rather go for Nathan Redmond. Not that I would choose to go for either of them.
Yeah.
But I just think if you are going in that market, I think that he would potentially be the better option out of the two.
I think I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain doesn't really play wide anymore, does he? He's been more of a centre midfielder for quite some time now. And I think I'd even looked on. He'd even played defensive midfield.
He's not going to play there for us.
He can't play anywhere for us because I'm sure he's still a very good footballer, and he has been for a very long time. But he couldn't play at the level of intensity and energy levels required to play in our team. He could probably come on for 20 minutes a game, but even then, he still just break down with the intensity that Chris Davies wants.
Captain America or radio one?
The ginger one, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so because Captain America, I think, would fit quite nicely with the whole Blues Tom Wagner thing, but yeah, not for me. And it feels a bit agency as well. Again, so I think all three of those. I mean, I have to be proven wrong on the Kumas thing. I haven't checked, but it doesn't feel legit to me. But I mean, we've only got 10 and was it the 1st of September? So 12 days until the transfer window is a deadline day, which I'll be in Scotland then. So
going to bring some
quite a lot
comments
in
in.
chat. I was going to say, do you want to have a look at some of the chat that we've had come in? Just some opinions on this.
Transfer related. Let's go for that. Yeah, and then we'll move on to the last few bits. Yeah.
I've seen a few that are interesting. I quite like the wages one that's popped up a couple of times. No, sorry, the Akpom money.
Yeah. So first of all, that one. Spent a lot on wages and not a lot on fees. Do you think we could have more room to manoeuvre?
So fees wise, you're correct, but people like Brightside Samuel and Damari Gray haven't just signed for free with high wages. There's signing on fees involved. There's all sorts involved. the amount of money that Demarai Gray was on in Saudi was like 75 grand or something, and that his £7 million contract was written off. Right. There are ways that people get around that. So yeah, okay, we didn't pay a transfer fee directly to a club, but we've probably paid Demarai quite a high fee again. Been signing on fee for Brightside Samuel, high loan fee for Tommy Doyle. So there's a lot of stuff.
When you talk about Demarai Gray, he might well have taken some form of cut and whatever else because it's a hometown, and he said himself that he doesn't really like being far away. And this,
but you don't just sacrifice £7 million, do you?
Exactly that. Yeah.
The reason you moved there was for that sort of money. You don't just sacrifice that. So yeah, we haven't dished out loads in fees, but there has been very, very high wages, which again we've said are the killer. And the signing on fees we've probably paid a lot of these players, are going to be massive.
And that's not to even mention. So I saw one of the comments that said that wages were well balanced last season. Yes, but
they had very high increases on promotion.
So we've got promoted. So and players from before relegation that will be back on their previous money and more. So people like Tyler Roberts, who is on relegated, got his wages reduced. You'd assume got promoted again,
got
up. More money, but he's also had probably an annual increase on that as well. So he's probably on more money now than he was on his first season.
And you know, we had to encourage players to come down to League One last season, and that's you sell them the project, fair enough, but there's stuff that goes along with that, and that's being paid like you're still playing in the Championship or in your Bundesliga 2 or wherever you've come from. Right, so yeah, I think from a wages point of view, things are probably a little bit tight there. But yeah, I mean, we haven't paid massive fees in terms of transfer fees, but there has been a big outlay signing on. I mean, the loan fees for Doyle, I'm not sure about Beadle, but Doyle's loan fee, I think, is supposed to be quite high, isn't it? So yeah, there has been a significant outgoing. Just because we haven't visibly seen it, there is quite a bit going out. So we have to be sort of mindful of that, which is why the room to maneuver might not be as big as a lot of people think. As I said last week with a marquee signing, I don't think we're going to see that.
Okay, so let me bring another one in then quickly.
The Akpom one. Yeah.
Tell you what, let me just bring a couple in so you can just see a few of these comments, and then we'll just rattle through a few. So we were going to pay a lot for Akpom. Where's that money gone?
So hang on, let him read it. Yeah, he's going to read it.
Another just one on the loan situation. Loans annoy me. We're developing another team's player, i.e. Beadle. We don't need to rely on loans like we used to. And then maybe another one at the moment about Ramel. Did we get a decent fee for Ramel Donovan?
So the fee for Ramel was 3 million, wasn't it? I think that was built into his loan at the end of last season. So we know that one. So yeah, I think pretty sure that was 3 million we got for him. The Akpom thing was originally a loan, wasn't it? And now there was talk that we had if we got promoted, we'd pay the 6 million or 7 million, whatever it was. And then there was, Blues have come back in with a permanent transfer. But we don't know whether that was actually true or not, if there was just some form of cloak and dagger going on, because the noise from Blues didn't suggest that was actually the case. But the media seemed to be pumping in this thing, and it still took Akpom about another week and a bit to actually sign for Ipswich.
Also, let's not forget that, as we've said, with these transfers, if you pay 7 million for him, that you can give him a 4-year contract, and you spread that 4 million, 8 million, 7 million, whatever it is, across that 4-year deal. So then you're still paying the same wages or a bit more in wages, whatever you've offered him. So I don't think that money has gone as such. It's just that
we'll still spend money, but I just don't think we're going to be doing anything. I don't think we're going to be doing the daft sort of stuff that people think we're going to. I mean, I'll be happy to be proved wrong. Trust me, I get quite excited about signings in general. So
but let's be honest, no one other than those that work in the club know for sure what they can do. That's
But
how it should be.
ultimately, I think
last couple. Sorry, go on.
so. Ultimately, I think it's very, very important that they get players out. I think that's what their key they can do those two things at once. But I think it's a key focus for them to get players out at the moment.
Yeah. There was one more that you mentioned about the loans, Dave. The developing other teams' players. I don't.
Yes, that was in relation to Beadle, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm happy to take players on loan as long as we're not guaranteeing them playing time. If it's they'll come to us and we guarantee that they'll be starting, fine. As long as it improves the team, I don't care.
Yeah, so that's the balance, isn't it? So you want either a loan where you've got a view to a permanent move, so a Tommy Doyle type thing, a Aaron Cashin type thing. They said there's no obligation in there, but I think it sounds like there might be something in there. The Beadle thing.
If there's not anything agreed or in the contract, it's stuff that you have them around. They're a really good fit. We can look towards signing that player. If we get promoted, then we'll take them.
Yeah, I think they always have to have half an eye on that sort of thing. And again, with Beadle, said before, raise the floor, not the ceiling with Beadle. At the moment, as he sits on the bench, we're not really developing him that much. But I get where you're coming from, though.
Okay, maybe just a couple more before we move on, maybe. Let's just bring these last few chat comments in. Transfer market reckons we got 3 million for Yokoyama, which I struggle to believe.
I don't think so. I think we probably got back what we paid for him if we were lucky.
Something on...
Which is probably about $1 million, wasn't it? Something.
On marquee signings. More generally, I think some fans have been led to believe there'll be a marquee type signing to come based on what they believe.
It's because the Stansfield thing, isn't it? Or because they want season 2 of the of the documentary to have like that sort of that build up. But
I still think there might be. I'm not gonna throw my toys out of the pram.
There might well be, but I'm not. My gut feeling and stuff that has been talked about. I think I hope I am proved wrong, because there's nothing more I want to see than us go and sign an absolute difference maker for, I don't know, double figures maybe, but we shall see.
Last one quickly then. We also had the Job sell on, so we've bought in more than we've spent. Didn't expect Wrexham to outspend us though, if I'm honest, especially fees.
What did we get for Job? 4 million, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't huge, was it?
No, 3 or 4 million, I think. So, but I mean, again, Wrexham, they've it's all about the revenue, isn't it, that they bring in. They've the American fan base, the stuff that they're doing overseas is basically bankrolling them to be able to do this. I am surprised they've spent so much. I'll be genuinely honest. I knew they would have to have a go at it, because that squad was aging, still pretty aging in some respects, and it was lacking in some serious quality. But they have added some pretty decent players and spent some decent money.
I still think that their bigger issue is going to be their manager. But
I mean, we'll see towards the end of the season, absolutely. But I mean, yeah,
Christmas will be a good time to look at it. Not that we're a Wrexham podcast, so let's not talk about. Any more, Dave? Is that it? No.
Let's maybe move on. What we're looking forward to now.
Okay, well, before we do look forward to Oxford, we've got a Wagner of the week. Now,
Wagner of the week.
Have you got one? Have you got a suggestion here?
So I didn't really have like anything major. I was toying between Lyndon Dykes, just because of the winner on Saturday, which was a fairly boring and formulaic one. And my other thought was, actually, I'd already mentioned it, the referee Oliver Langford, for allowing play to go on. But I imagine you've probably got one that's far more interesting than that. So I'll let you.
I thought you were going to say, Matthew, but you were going to go with Vodafone Broadband.
Absolutely not. Right, Dave, you've got the decision to make on this, whether it's one of those two, or I don't know whether you saw it. I don't know whether you saw this on Twitter.
I know.
Big P Dunn talk about limbs for the Dykes goal. I
Big feed on.
literally lost the limb celebrating, popped my shoulder out screaming, and just spent 13 hours in Blackburn hospital attempting to get it put back in until they had to put me to sleep. Get out of here and a 2-hour drive back. Keep right on. Now,
it's absolutely no contest, is it? You've got to. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was fucking brilliant. And the best thing was, so somewhere in his replies, he then said, "Oh yeah, to top it off, there was a lad on the same ward with the exact same thing, dislocated shoulder from the Dykes goal."
Can I tell you what I loved from that as well? He still managed to get the Stone Island badge in. Yeah. It's I don't think for a second that's not very deliberately done. If you're listening, tell us whether you did carefully get that badge in
on purpose.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that was my Wagner of the week. Dave, who are you going with?
It's got to be him, hasn't it? Anyone that spends 13 hours in Blackburn deserves it. Limb or not, popped out or not. It does make you wonder though where you're going to go, where you're going to have to go from here to top that. I mean,
wow, yeah, absolute limbs.
All
Big
four
P
limbs,
Don.
all 4 limbs.
Big P Don. There you go.
Wagner of the week.
There was another suggestion in chat that I've just seen. The Blues fan that was kegged. Did you see that?
Yes. Yeah. There seems to be a high volume of dekegging going on around football stadiums lately. I've noticed quite a few fans putting videos up of fans getting dekegged.
I mean, Blues have had two league games, and there's been arses at both of them. Remember the penalty? The guy who got his arse out for the penalty last week, or the other week, and then this one. So, right then, should we have a little look forward to Oxford?
Yes.
Right, before we get into it, we've got Ben from Blues Breakdown who sent us a bit to give us a little summary.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You could have waited until we got transitioned to Ben. Right, let's go to Ben now.
Game 3 back in the Championship sees Blues welcome Oxford United to St Andrews with a familiar face in the opposition dugout. Yes, two-time Birmingham City manager Gary Rowett has been in charge of the Yellows since December 2024, taking over a side in 20th place in the Championship and just a point above the bottom 3. Rowett steered Oxford to relative safety last season, finishing 17th in the Championship and 4 points above the bottom 3. He actually had the 9th best points return in the league after being appointed. The familiar faces continue with the summer loan signing of Luke Harris from Fulham, joining existing former Blues players Siriki Dembele and Premature Plaheta in the Oxford squad. Oxford have had a tough start to the season, losing both their games they've played so far. A narrow 1-0 loss on opening day against Portsmouth, where a wayward pass from midfield allowed Pompey to spring a goal through a counter-attack, was followed up by a 3-2 defeat away at Hull, conceding a 93rd minute goal from Ollie McBurney. Having had Rowett manage Blues across 2 spells now, as well as seeing his work up close with spells in charge of Stoke, Derby and Millwall in the Championship, I think most Blues fans would be clued up on how his sides play. Low possession, attritional, fine margins, defensively solid and a threat from set pieces. Even in the infancy of this season, Oxford are certainly adhering to some of those Rowett principles. Unsurprisingly, they rank 24th in the league for possession, averaging just 37% across their 2 games so far. Now, possession isn't everything, and despite seeing very little of the ball, they are managing an impressive 15 shots per game, which is 5 more than Blues currently, albeit they are of below average quality, Oxford ranking 14th for open play expected goals. One area that they are a threat from, and again it's not surprising from a Gary Rowett side, is set pieces. They rank 5th for set piece expected goals, and the long throw of Will Vaulks is a particularly awkward weapon to deal with, especially when you consider that they've got the likes of Elliot Moore and Mikkel Hellick in the side. Typically, Rowett's sides are compact and defensively sound, making it hard for opponents to break them down and create good goal-scoring opportunities. In the 2 Championship games so far, I think Rowett will have been concerned with the number of shots his side have conceded from within the penalty area. 3 of the 4 goals Oxford have conceded so far have been from just outside the 6-yard box, with the defending being less than impressive. This lack of defensive solidity in open play translates to the data, as Oxford have conceded the 5th highest expected goals, and only 4 teams have conceded more goals than them so far this season. They do fare better when facing set pieces, however. They've conceded the 5th least expected goals from set plays across the 2 games so far. Out of possession, Oxford have been fairly passive, ranking the bottom 6 for both pressing intensity and high turnovers. Blues could find some joy with their own press, however, as the U's have been particularly susceptible to high turnovers themselves, losing the ball on average of 6.5 times per game. In summary, Oxford so far have been enthusiastic to shoot without being overly threatening, uncharacteristically lax defensively, but more threatening from set pieces than opening play. I think the game could end up being quite attritional and frustrating from a Blues perspective if Rowett has managed to rectify some of the early season defensive issues. If not, I think we could see a comfortable victory by 2 or 3 goals, with Oxford offering very little by way of attacking threat. In terms of opposition players to watch, Cameron Brannigan has been a consistent performer for Oxford over a number of seasons in the midfield, while Spurs loanee Will Lancashire has started his Oxford career fairly brightly with a goal last time out against Hull. Keep right on.
Thank you as ever, Ben.
I am shocked by those stats.
Now, before we do discuss what Ben just said, he asked me whether 3.5 minutes was too long. I think that he needs that time to give us that analysis.
Paint the picture.
Yeah, paint the picture of it. So please give us some feedback on it, because Ben, we love hearing from Ben and just getting that summary from him. So let us know if you enjoy that and whether you think that it's too long, or I think it's perfect. I think that that's just right. So last time out, they Oxford were drawing with Hull. 2 Ollie McBurney assists and then an Ollie McBurney winner in the 93rd minute that absolutely didn't. I've got on my notes, Rowett ball, low XG, poor quality opportunities, poor quality chances, but a fairly high number of shots. I mean,
what you said.
We know. I made these notes without listening to Ben's thing. We know what to expect from a Rowett team, which I know Ben said as well. Anyone who watched Blues during the first Gary Rowett era, we're not going to mention the second one, knows what to expect.
I think my general feeling is he just comes to Blues and shit houses a draw or a win. Like I was far more confident going into the Blackburn game than I felt about the Oxford game last week. Rowett's just a party pooper, isn't he? But go on.
We've got a video from an Oxford fan, Fraser from the fence end. Not going to play it just yet, but he said to me, I can't remember what was it. Basically said, I can guarantee you that Oxford are going to be absolutely shit. Like that's just how they're playing at the moment.
Which is good news.
Yeah, I said Gary Rowett's going to be right up for it, because
why wouldn't he be?
It's Rowett against us. So,
well, do you want to see what John Paul Taylor said in the comments? Just for an opinion.
Yes.
I'll let you read this one, Chris.
Funny stat, Gary Rowett has never lost 3 consecutive games in all his championship managerial career at multiple clubs. That's going to change this weekend, 2-0 Blues.
I'll take that. That's actually going to be my prediction, John. So, not just a premature prediction there, but I think we'll win. But I do.
I think we've just had the title of the pod there.
I was going to say something else. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to phrase it. So it's like prediction.
Prediction.
I think there's a good chance that it is going to be frustrating, but ultimately we will end up. You're looking at. You're thinking here, aren't you? Frustrating, premature prediction.
Prediction.
Ultimately,
I've got
I think
much better title for this week's podcast from 48 minutes, which we'll talk about off air.
Ultimately, I think we'll just wear them down and eventually just win out comfortably. The ideal thing for me is if we if we got an early goal, because then they'd have to try and come out a little bit. And if they come out and try and play a little bit, we
opens
should
it
be
up.
able to expose them. I just think we'll have trouble grinding them down. It's funny about them, sort of. He said about they're very successful at defending set pieces, so they'll be even more successful defending our shit set pieces, won't they? But another thing from the weekend, just diabolical. Some of those balls in, but I don't know how we're so bad at it with so much quality. Is it the delivery? Is it the actual execution of the set piece itself? We had that one really tasty corner where Kyogo had that header from like half a yard out and missed, and that was the only real good set piece I think we've had. I mean, it's only 3 games in, but it just looks like
when you're looking at teams that have scored 3 goals or something this season from set pieces already.
If we managed to nail that, would be there. But I mean, I
we've
agree.
got bigger players now. You think that your Claras and your
Neumanns, yeah, definitely
should be up there for it. But
I agree with John Paul. I think we'll win 2-0. That last minute, that late win against Blackburn is going to do wonders for mentality and confidence. I feel confident going. It's done it for me. I feel quite confident going into this game.
Yeah.
Should we see what the opposition think then before we come in? Anything else?
Yeah, go on then.
So thoughts on Oxford so far this season? Not a great start to the season. Most fans hope for more in the first 2 fixtures. An uncharacteristic error from Cameron Brannigan in the first game, and a 93rd minute winner from Hull turned what looked like 2 draws into 2 defeats. So we need to pick up points pretty soon. We haven't looked disastrous in those games, but we need to up our game definitely and find some points pretty soon. My expectations and hopes for the season are we can find a way to stay up. I would take that now if you offered it to me. I've got a lot of confidence in Gary Rowett's championship experience to hopefully guide us to a safe position by next May. My thoughts on where Birmingham need to watch out. I don't think Birmingham will face a huge amount of problems from us, but we can cause problems up front with recent loan signing of Will Lancashire from Tottenham. Stan Mills has got a pretty handy cross on him, and we became known last season for the Will Volks long throw that practically kept us up in the end. So if he can, if any of those 3 can play at their best on Saturday, Birmingham could have some problems there, but yeah, we'll see. My thoughts on where Birmingham are dangerous are basically everywhere. I still think this will be a big ask for Oxford to come away with anything, but Jay Stansfield and Lyndon Dykes fill me with dread, and Alex Cochrane seems pretty dangerous too. In terms of a score prediction, I hate to do it, but I'm going to go with a convincing Birmingham win. I'd love to be wrong, and maybe we can pull something out of the bag if we can frustrate Birmingham and get some of our injured summer signings back, like Brian de Keersmaker or Nick Prelic, but it doesn't look likely. So I think maybe a 2-0 Birmingham win, but I hate to say that.
Everyone's shout out to 70-year-old Stan Mills still playing football at his age.
Stan Mills. Great name.
It's an very old-fashioned footballer's name, is it? Like he used to play for Stoke.
Hey, Stanley. So he was just mentioning a few players that they're hoping to get back from their summer signings. Didn't mention Luke Harris, who's actually out with an ankle injury, I think, at the moment, isn't he?
Oh, he's injured, is he?
I think. Yeah, from what I saw, might be back. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I think Rowett said he was out for a little while. Dembele's playing. Placheta, who Ben, is that how you say it?
Oh yeah, when we had him on loan, didn't we?
From Norwich.
Yeah, wing back, left back.
Yeah, didn't he play a handful of games? Got injured. Never saw.
Yeah, because did he score on his debut or played really, really well on his debut and then he got injured, didn't he? Dembele, it's funny. Dembele seems to be getting so much game time because Rowett dropped him and told him he was lazy when he was playing for Blues. Well, not when he was managing Blues.
There's going to be a few of them that are up for it, you know. I think
It's mentioned Cameron Bannigan there. I know we've had interest in him in the past, and I think he's a very decent player. So,
and I tell you what, talking about decent players that were at Oxford, I don't know how they've managed it because this guy was better than Jude Bellingham. Lewis Sibley is at Oxford.
See there,
yeah.
His big move's just around the corner. It's just around the corner.
It'll happen for him one day.
It's going to happen at one
It'll
point.
happen for him one day. Apparently, Oxford are looking to move Dembele on this window, but I did see that he did come on against Hull, so he's still around. He's still playing. Right then, shall we get down to the nitty gritty? Dave, have we got the league table there?
We definitely do.
Oh, that's upside down, surely.
4-point lead.
Oh, I can't believe it. Right, this can't stick.
I'm not going to get them right every week.
This can't stick. Right. Dave, prediction.
2-0 Blues. I'm going to go.
You can't go 2-0 as well.
No, we had this discussion. We can do what we want this season.
All right.
Do what we want.
Scorer.
Gray.
Chewy, you said 2-0.
2-0. I'm going to go Stansfield.
2-0.
Go 4-4. It definitely is 4-4, right? Do you get that?
Yeah.
What will be?
Played through by Tomoki. And I'm going to go with Chris O'Brien. And I'm going to go 4-0.
He's not playing. He's away in Turkey. He's not going to score.
No, I'm going to go to Turkey with Chris O'Brien. No, I'm going to go 4-0 Blues. I'm not.
Who's the goal scorer? Williamson or Iwata?
Might go Allsop. No, do you know what? No,
Could
I'm going to go set piece.
Yeah,
get extra bonus points for saying that it's a set piece.
No, stop making up the rules.
Okay.
A direct free kick.
Set piece. Neumann.
Yeah, I like it. I hope we see that. I do hope we see that.
Oh, I hope we see it. Right.
Talking of the ghost Williamson pass, he is another one that I think could end up being on the move. We didn't mention him in the potential transfers out, but I think
I still think though that he's just that something different. I think someone mentioned Williamson earlier in the chat. I think I saw his name.
I'm not disagreeing, but I think when you've got Fujimoto and Dukes, who's really more of a 10 than he is an out striker. They've been playing Doyle as a 10 as well. That's getting quite congested in that area. But I mean, you like the fluidity, don't you? And you've got the inside right, so you maybe play with 2 10s and stuff anyway. But don't want to go off on too much of a tangent. But it was in my head.
Based on all of our predictions for goal scorers, then what do we think to this comment from Paul Bennett? Are you guys worried about Kyogo? Just hope he starts scoring soon.
No,
not worried.
I think he does miss chances. He does miss chances. So did I mention it on the Celtic? Because I mentioned that on the last podcast. A couple of Celtic fans I know over here mentioned that he will miss them, but he's not the sort of player that it gets inside his own head, because he'll be in another position and create a chance for himself a few minutes later or later in the game. He'll always be making those runs, playing on the shoulder of the last defender, and his movement and he's very, very quick as well. He will consistently cause the opposition problems. So, I mean, he's already scored. He could have had 5. He could have had 5. He could have had 7 goals by now, in theory, really. Mm-hmm. No, not worried, because he'll still continue. And I think we just have to accept that he will miss chances, because the goals in England are only half the size of the goals in Scotland. So I think we'll just have to accept that he will miss sitters. But he'll also score. I'm confident he'll score 15 goals this season.
I mean, I think it depends a lot on how much he plays. At the moment, he's playing as up there with Stano. I think that will probably.
I mean, that won't happen all the time, will it?
I think that will change this weekend. I can, mind you, I said that last weekend. I think
it will change this weekend. I think it will as well. But and also, it's nice to have one of those two to come off the bench, isn't it? A bit more.
I said that last week. That I mean, we also said last week about Dykes not doing the press as well as the others because of not having the energy and the whatever. And then I don't know if you noticed it, but he came on and the first thing that he was doing, like pressing really high.
He's also got 100% shot goal completion rate as well, isn't he? So maybe Dykes should start.
Perfect time to cash in on him, to be fair, isn't it?
But it could and might well happen, but that's for another podcast.
Now, before we do go, I did have a Cornella, but I'm not going to send them because Vodafone have just absolutely taken it with their shit broadband. And it was going to be the Blues TV guys who put the scoreboard up.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if anyone saw this. I know that you guys did. But the away team in red, was it red and white?
Yeah, the home team
was BRR, and the home team in blue and white was BIR.
Yeah,
and it's like minor thing. I don't know whether that changed after we'd scored. I can't remember.
I think the scores were correct against the correct lettering, but just against the wrong colouring. I don't know what that's from because it's not me. If anyone can hear that buzzing, that was very loud.
Is it me? Might be me. I think that's that might be
that might be our cue to shut down,
wrap it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you as ever for getting involved in the chats.
And shout out to my cat who didn't come and crawl on me for the whole podcast.
Wasn't a little wanker.
You're gonna bring that cat into shot.
Shout out to Rollins for not being a little screwed.
Can you cat say keep right on? No.
Can you say keep right on? No.
All right. Until next time, thank you all for listening. We'll be back. Enjoy the game at the weekend. And until next time, keep right on.
Keep right on.
Keep right on.